How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Okay, so can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
teach me something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile going on some shoes. But
wait, hold up.
I gotta try this. When it's time to laugh,
I gotta try this with you.
Think of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no bullets.
Water guns. All right.
We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. What's up, everybody? I hope you all doing well out there, enjoying your morning right now. It is hump day. So hopefully your hump day is going very, very well. I hope you're kicking it all in the butt today. Hopefully you're doing something positive with your day. Happy National Coffee Day. Apparently today is International Coffee Day. So if you got you got some drink in your cup, raise it up. Cheers. Happy Coffee Day. I had to take a sip because it's bad luck not to take the sip when you say cheers. But for those of y'all, you know what I mean? Hopefully you guys are enjoying a nice, good old-fashioned cup of Joe. We got a lot of things we got to talk about today, and we got a short show today because your man is busy. Your man is doing a lot of stuff right now for you guys. Wow, it has been a wild couple weeks. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. It has been a wild couple of weeks. There's some really great stuff that I cannot wait to show you guys. We got a huge interview with Larry Reed from the Larry Reed live show airing Friday morning. So I'm very excited about that. Like I said, I'm drinking a lot of coffee right now just to get me through these past few weeks because your man's been working, okay? Do me a favor, though, before we get things moving, before we get it all popping and crack-a-lacking up in this biznai, do me a favor, hit that like button down below, all right? Please do me that small favor. Hit that like button. All right. And of course, for those of y'all who are new to the show, welcome to the Pascal Show. Please crush, nuke, destroy that subscribe button. All right. We're working hard out here in these streets for all you guys. And we got some information, some new stuff that we are going to be talking about today. Because, like I said, this Brian Laundrie story ain't stopping. I guess it ain't going to stop until he actually gets caught. Because, like I said, as soon as I feel like I'm done with that story and I'm going, okay, we're going to move on to the next story, something else pops off. So we got some developing stories, some interesting information revolving around Brian Laundrie, which we will be talking about. Of course, we got to talk about Chuck D's, and not Chuck Diesel, Chuck D's tweets that he recently put out in regards to the verdict for Ara Kelly. So we are going to be talking about that as well. And we most definitely have got to talk about this Will Smith open marriage situation that I feel like I already talked about this on Like or Not, the Benjamin Dixon Show. Shout out to the Benjamin Dixon Show and the crew. Love them over there. It's a lot of good times, a lot of great discussions over there too. So if you haven't done that yet, go over there and hit that subscribe button over there. You might see me sprinkled throughout the week over there as well. We had a really great conversation about this whole Will Smith situation. Like I said, we've been known. He just finally came out and said it. So we got a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about here. But before we go into all this, my brother David is in the house. What's up, man? I miss seeing your face. How you doing, man? You are muted. You forgot to put the floaties on before you jump into the pool. You got to put the floaties on first, then jump into the pool. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Doing pretty good. Had a busy morning, got a busy day ahead of me as well. But I think we got a few interesting topics here. But I've been working on, I wasn't on yesterday or the day before. So I've been working on 2 new short stories that I'm trying to sell. And I'm also trying to finish this game that I want to sell too. But, just for a couple dollars. It's more of it's like a really basic game. But putting working into it. So I might as well try to sell it for a couple dollars at least.
Yeah, man. And that's dope. Like I said, if y'all don't know, this man does write books. He is a writer. And that's what he does. I mean, I don't want to put your personal stuff on blast, but this is his career. That is his career. He's a prolific writer. And at some point, hopefully at some point, we will get some of his amazing writing somewhere shown on the show or something. Or, he's working on a book right now, a fantasy book. Right now, a fantasy novel. Sorry, let me say that correct. This ain't like some little small children's book. This is an epic book that he's working on right now as we speak. So I can't wait to see something like that come out. I want to see it in my hands. I want to open up the book. I want to smell the smell. I love the smell of new books. I'm sorry. That's weird. I know, but that's me. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to actually see some of your work. I see it. You write a lot of other things that I've seen, but to see the book would be awesome. And those short stories, I'd love to see those short stories too, man. Real talk.
Yeah. If I get them published soon, I'll be able to probably bring them up a little bit on the show. Especially if I get the magazine or whatever it's in, because that's most likely what it would be published in.
That's dope. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed, man. I'm literally they have been crossed. So I'm just showing it to you. Fingers crossed, bro, because you are very talented and incredibly intelligent. So I'm just going to speak it into existence. I can't wait to see those framed behind you on that wall. You see what I'm saying? Those articles actually, those magazines actually publishing your short stories. So I can't wait to see that, man. Real talk. But we got to go into this story, y'all. We got things we got to go into. All right. Oh, also, I'll say this now too. Shameless plug. If y'all looking for somebody to write, holla at David. Trust me, this man is very good at what he does. All right, this is what he does. Like I said, he's the brain. I'm just here. You know what I mean? He the brain. Okay, so chop it up with him, man. Real talk. You will not be sorry. Let's just say that. Okay. Sounds very intimidating. You won't be sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to say it like that. Just, I'm saying he good. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that he's good. But anyway, we got to go into this story because obviously we got to get this one. This is the main thing right now as we speak that is revolving around this whole Brian Laundrie out on a lamb in hiding, on the run. Some people say he's missing. No, this man's on the run. But anyway, there's some new information. Now, as we already know before, he and his parents went to a camping site in Fort Myers, if I'm correct, that said that they went there two separate times. According to Dog, the bounty hunter. It's so funny I'm saying that. But Dog, the bounty hunter, found this information, broke this story, which, of course, was also confirmed by their own lawyer that, yes, the parents went off and Brian Laundrie went off to this campsite two separate times for 2 to 3 days, both separate times. And the one time that they came back, Brian Laundrie was not with the parents. The parents they basically went and they wrote in, they had to write in their names to sign up for those campsites, accounting for every single person that's there, including Brian. But when they left, they say from eyewitnesses, Brian Laundrie was not in the car on the way out of the campsite the second time they went there. Okay, so this is the reason why I'm saying that there's developing stories or developing news is because there has been a couple that says that they were camping next to the Laundrie family. So we got to take a look at this video, this interview, because this is real.
Apparently, they were at the campground when we were there, and they were right next to us.
Are you kidding?
Fort Myers family found out they were camping right next to the Laundrie family days after Gabby Petito disappeared. Tonight, you're hearing their reaction and seeing photos of their vacation.
Hold on. Let me roll that back really quick because they went through those photos damn fast. But here it is. The camper right here. The camper that was brand new, that was sitting outside on their driveway for a little bit. They took this camper out to go and do they thing, right? And they went there two separate times for 2 to 3 days, separate times. Okay. Now, interesting stuff. Okay. Let's continue. I'm going to go to the next photo, and then I'm going to rerun this again because they got a lot of information here. Now, they're saying here in this photo right here and where my mouse is that this could possibly be Sasquatch. Brian Laundrie. Okay? So, this is the family. They're claiming that they were camping right next to the Laundries, and this allegedly is Brian Laundrie. Sorry for saying Sasquatch, but you see what I'm saying? I don't blame them. They're not taking a photo thinking that they're catching a criminal. I mean, in my personal opinion, a criminal, but allegedly he's just a person of interest. Okay? Go ahead, David.
I was just going to say, it really is like a Bigfoot sighting where he's just in the background, blurry enough you can't really tell what it is.
I saw Sasquatch. He's real. I saw him with my own 2 eyes. He real. This is the same thing. Sasquatch. For real. Seriously. You really think this is okay? This is really him? We don't know. People have blown it up many, many times. But guess what happens when you blow up a photo? It becomes pixelated. I'm just saying, y'all. It becomes pixelated like a mug. So you can't really sit here and say, like I said, in the world of technology and how advanced photos have become nowadays, I still cannot believe that we can't get a solid photo, clear, solid photo of this man. Now, here it is, though. In this family's picture's defense, they weren't taking a photo expecting to catch an alleged criminal. They were just taking a photo because they were having a good old time. And it is fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? You see them. Look at this man's face. You can still make it out, but it's fuzzy as hell. They older people. I'll put that out there too. Maybe they're not as technologically savvy. They're not that savvy. So, it's a little blurry, but they're like, let's take a quick photo. Boop, done.
And he is behind all of them too, so they probably don't even know that there's anyone walking behind them.
They don't even know, but that's Sasquatch, UFO sighting. You know what I'm saying? Swamp Thing, Loch Ness Monster, the Abominable Snowman. Isn't that Sasquatch too? Isn't that the same thing?
I think so.
Yeah, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the Abominable Snowman. I think it's the same thing. But anyway, there you go. But when you zoom into it, yeah, it's it's kind of like a bald looking dude. It's a skinny, bald white guy. Surprise! That's what we're all looking for, right? And like I said, it seems like fall season is the bald, skinny, bald white guy. It's skinny, bald white guy season. And like I said, this Halloween, there's a lot of skinny, bald white guys that don't even need to dress up. They could just come in with flip-flops, cargo shorts, and a tie-dye t-shirt and say that they're Brian Laundrie for Halloween. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just calling it as I see it. I see a bunch of y'all also in the house, over 400 of 400 souls in the house. Please send those likes past 100 real quick. I'd really, really appreciate it, okay? Thank you so much. But let's continue with this. I'm going to start it from the beginning again because, of course, I went and mucked it up and interrupted this news clip. But let's watch it in its entirety, okay? But yes, who said this? Haunted said, Pascal, so Brian is a mythical creature now. Yeah, pretty much, man. You just see what I'm saying? That's how they're kind of all these photos. Like there's another guy that's on YouTube. I'm not going to say his name, but he did a whole video about a drone photo. And it was just a big black blob, whole bunch of shades and everything. And he's sitting there going, can't you see that there he is? His head's turned to the left. He's leaning up against a tree. He's got a white backpack. And I'm like, how can you make out that from this footage? From a drone, they up in the air, all the way up. And it's under trees, and you're sitting there going, oh, there he is, right. You don't see him? He's right there. You mean where trees are? Yeah, he's right there. Huh? Like that's where we're at right now. So if this really is them, or if this really is him, this is probably the cleanest shot we've got of him thus far. We've seen other things, dudes in Toronto, that are just a skinny, bald white guy, footage elsewhere saying, oh, no, he's over here. No, he's over there. Yes, this man seems like he is. I feel like we could find Jimmy Hoffa's body before we find Brian Laundrie at this point. But David, what were we going to say?
I was going to say with the images that we do have of him, and this is basically what you get with like Bigfoot all the time, is that the images are just too far away that there's no real way of identifying the person. The camera simply isn't picking up enough of the image so that you can figure out who it is. There's just like blank spots because it can only take so many pixels of an image. It's not like Blade Runner or Star Trek where you can just be like enhance and the image just gets better. You can't really do that. It's got to be pretty high resolution for you to even be able to fill it in with like interlacing or whatever. So there's not really a way to use these pictures to identify him, especially with that stupid drone one that everyone was going around. And I mean, everyone's kind of coming out with their Brian sighting for clout. It is like the new Bigfoot, but it's just a bunch of BS. Like the drone that saw him from like a few hundred feet under a tree, it was a black dot, basically.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's no way you can tell who he is with that.
You gotta be kidding me. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be kidding me, man. So, like, somebody said it's the Pioneer said it's Joe Rogan season. Here's the thing, though. It's not Joe Rogan season exactly because Joe Rogan, like, you know what I mean? He eats steaks. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude living and eating grass. You know what I'm saying?
Brian's tiny too. He's like 5'5" or something.
He's a baby. He's a baby. If he's shorter than David, then he's a baby. Okay.
Well, when they first saw him, the drivers reported him as I think 5'2" or 5'4". He's like 5'5" then, so they thought he was even shorter than he actually is.
He's short. He's a small man. Okay, so like I said, just doesn't it just doesn't fully. All these sightings, and I get it. Some people are using it to just get those views, and yes, some people are doing it for clout, just to get some attention to their pages and to their TikToks and whatnot. But like I said, this is probably the clearest and cleanest thing that we have right now, where we are actually seeing without a shadow of a doubt that there is proof that that camper was out there, that they were next door to these to the Laundrie family. It's proof, and it looks like it's not really camping. Somebody said it earlier, and I hate to steal from them, but it's like glamping. They're straight up glamping. I mean, they're staying in their camper. You know, they're not staying in a tent. I don't know about the family in this photo, but the Laundrie family were glamping like a mug. You know, that's him. Like, that's probably him living like the getting the 5-star treatment with this camper that they pulled up and stayed there for 6 days collectively for 6 days. So, like I said, I'm going to roll this back. We're going to watch this video in its entirety. I won't, unless some bomb drops, I'm not going to interrupt it. Okay, let's take a listen.
Apparently, they were at the campground when we were there, and they were right next to us.
Are you kidding?
Fort Myers family found out they were camping right next to the Laundrie family days after Gabby Petito disappeared. Tonight, you're hearing their reaction and seeing photos of their vacation only on NBC2. The family was staying at this campsite on the right, while the Laundries camped just yards away. Thanks for counting on NBC2. I'm Brian White.
And I'm Peter Bush. This all happened at the Fort Soto Park in Pinellas County. County records show the Laundrie family booked a campsite there on September 6th. Mary Newsom and her family arrived the exact same day. Only NBC2's Megan Myers is talking to the family about what they saw.
This is the camper the Fort Myers couple was staying in at Fort DeSoto Park. According to county documents, they were staying right next to the Laundrie family.
We had a call a little while ago from the news.
It started with a phone call from us.
We checked in on Monday, Labor Day.
And then came the phone call to her camping buddies.
Apparently, they were at the campground when we were there, and they were right next to us.
Unbelievable.
Marcy Newsom and her husband, Kenny, started putting the pieces together.
This is next to us, and I see a red truck.
One photo at a time.
And that red truck was right there. We have a picture of it.
The couple and their friends are now looking back at their captured memories, wondering if this man.
You took a selfie of the four of us, and in the background, there's a guy walking across the field.
Could have been Brian Laundrie.
They kept to themselves. They were there, and then they weren't.
Brian Laundrie's attorney says Brian, his mom, and his dad all arrived at the park on September 6th and left on September 7th. But a public records request from Pinellas County shows Roberta Laundrie, Brian's mom, checked out on the 8th. All of this was happening while Gabby Petito's family was worried sick, trying to get a hold of the Laundries. And Gabby's parents say they never heard back.
Very strange. If somebody I knew was missing, I wouldn't be going camping.
Megan Myers, NBC2.
We all had it done last night. We all did it together.
Now, here's a little bit of a recap of the press conference. But David, you were going to say something. It sounded like you wanted to say something real quick.
Yeah. There's just a bit more information from that area.
Oh, hey, come on with it.
All right. So
I have a couple questions that were asked in here. I want to answer real quick. Go ahead, please.
All right. So Dog the Bounty Hunter thinks that Brian Laundrie and his family were in Fort DeSoto Park, which confirms with the story. He told that to one of the local Fox offices. And like they say, public records show someone named Robert Laundrie came in to the grounds on the 6th.
Roberta.
Roberta, yeah. But a spokesperson with the sheriff's office said that as of Tuesday, they're not working on anything related to a search for Brian. So they're saying that the 2 people left on the 8th, and then 3 people came in on the 6th. So they think this is from Dog. He said that's why he thinks they're there. However, the local police are saying that it's an ongoing investigation, and so far they don't really have enough information to suggest that Brian's actually out in that area right now. So they're not, the local police aren't looking for him in that area.
But
I don't know why.
Why? Like, that doesn't make no sense, y'all. Why would they not look at? See, that's what. No. This is what I was talking about yesterday on last night's show. Why aren't they Why aren't they looking in this? What? That don't make no sense, man. No damn sense. That doesn't make any sense, everybody. Please, somebody math this right. So they're not looking in this area. They're not looking at this lead. They're not taking it serious. Go ahead, David. I'm just trying to wrap. What?
Yeah. So it's I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but the area is Pinellas. So the deputies there say that there are no confirmed tips or sightings of Brian Laundrie actually being in the Fort DeSoto Park. Like they said, they just have the names of those people. They have those people that signed in. One of them was Roberta, whatever. It was supposedly his mom.
Roberta.
Yeah, Roberta.
Yes, Roberta.
Supposedly his mom.
Roberta.
Yeah.
You want to throw a little spice in it. You know what I mean? I want to be in America. No.
That's just what it looks like. But yeah. So the deputies of the local area, so it's like a sheriff's office, don't think he's there. So I don't know what information they looked at, if they did look at that writing inside of the check-in log. You don't always need to check in, at least at the ones I've been in. You don't necessarily need to. It's optional. It's like it's a messaging thing that you don't need to do. Most of the parks I've been to, the only difference is if you need to actually buy a parking registration for that park. That's usually the only thing you need to pay for to get in. So, and that's the only thing that you have to like have an actual transaction for. Maybe this place is different, but the sheriffs don't seem to think it's a good lead. And just based on the other sign-in sheets I've been in, where people just make up names sometimes for fun or whatever, I don't know how reliable this information actually is. It could have just been some. I'm not saying it is. It could be real, but it's also possible somebody wrote it in later to try and be, I don't know, like troll people or something.
Just trying to make it difficult for people to go up there. This is what I was saying also on last night's show as well. There's a good possibility that maybe Roberta, as you like to say, Roberta, went there and maybe signed up their names. That could be it too, just to ward off the hounds from picking up Brian Laundrie's scent. That could be it too, right? But that's the same thing with the car out in the swamp, the Mustang out in the swamp, because he wanted to go and meditate type of thing. Oh, he left on Tuesday. So sorry. You know, he's gotten 2 to 3 days head start to kick rocks. That stuff doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I said I wanted to say this real quick. Louise Pires, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm sorry if I butchered it. They just said they are. Josh Benson from WFLA just said on Twitter that there's cops there and a helicopter. So if they are, maybe they've changed their minds since that statement, David. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe they decided, wait, no, we are gonna look in that area for real. Maybe that statement is a little bit old, or maybe it's a few hours old. Like I said, law enforcement could have easily changed their mind in this situation, just to, like I said, this whole issue is just it's just weird. And if law enforcement is sitting there going, no, we still don't believe that they're over there. They over at the swamp. That don't make any sense. Unless law enforcement just wants to scoop up a bag with that $200,000 a day being spent on the search for Brian Laundrie in a damn swamp. But when you have people who are showing photos of the camper, showing a possible photo, which we're looking at right here, a blown up photo of a possible Brian Laundrie just walking through. I mean, like I said, there's just too many questions being that aren't being answered. And I feel like this could possibly be a good lead. Now, I get it. There's plenty of people with campers. But what are the odds, real quick? What are the odds of the camper finding the exact same camper and having a guy looking exactly like Brian Laundrie in that camper? What are the odds? And it not be Brian Laundrie, but same stature, same build, bald. Just saying. This family right here said that they were camping right next to him. So we are seeing without a shadow of a doubt that if they were near campsite 1 or campsite, I think it's 15, during any of those particular times, and they're shooting a photo of a camper that looks exactly like the camper that's parked outside of the Laundrie family's house right now. They also have a young man, 23 years old, male pattern baldness and a beard, skinny as hell, in that same camper. I'm just saying, do the math. I don't think this family's capping. Just saying. If those names were written in and during those times, it seems to start to add up to me. How can there be another family called the Laundrie family with a woman named Roberta driving up, unless we live in some weird alternate reality and we have our own doppelgangers that have our names, our last names too, our full names and everything. You see what I'm saying? Like, this family was at one of the campsites next to the Laundries. So to me, I'm like, look at this. Maybe and let's exercise this idea too. Let's do it real quick. Maybe the Laundrie family went. Obviously, they went there. That's what I think. I truly believe that they went to campsite 1 and they went to campsite 15 on 2 separate occasions. Sure, the family probably saw him. That is probably Brian Laundrie in the background right here of this photo. But what if they went back home? We have to exercise that idea too. What if he went back? What if they all 3 went back home? And then, yes, they went, took the Mustang, drove out to the swamp because he wanted to be one with the swamp. I don't know why, but anyway, to meditate. He goes off and he disappears. That could also be a possibility. But this is too close for law enforcement not to look at this in this direction.
And I do want to say, so his lawyer has been claiming certain things, like he was there at this time. He's only going to repeat what the family tells him. So if the family tells him that they were there at that date, he's going to say that, even if they're just telling him that because they're lying and they let him go somewhere else. I mean, Dog still thinks he went up the Appalachian Trail towards Canada, which I think is probably possible. I don't really know much about him as a bounty hunter, but that one thing I do think is possible. But what they could do, and it doesn't seem like the deputies, the sheriff's office is going to do it. They could bring in some bloodhounds like they had for the Florida park, the southern Florida park. I forget exactly what it was called, where he allegedly went to multiple times. They could bring those up here because they have enough objects to look for his scent. So if he's still in this area, the dogs should be able to pick him up, especially, if he's not showering or anything. His scent will be a lot stronger for the dogs to find.
Facts. So that's what I'm saying. For me to sit, for law enforcement, for not, Luis Pires just said that the cops are looking into this and everything. So I appreciate that comment. And hopefully they really are, hovering over, getting some boats, getting across over there and searching every single island that they can actually put boots to the ground on, physically be at. But I feel like this is just too close for comfort. Too close not to sit there and go, man, well, maybe we should pull back on the manpower searching in the swamp, take half of that and take it out here in the area of Fort Myers and see if he's at one of these islands somewhere. That's a good possibility, y'all. in my personal opinion. But let's continue on this video because there's a little bit more, obviously, here as well. Hold on. Also, I see about 1,700 of you guys watching on all different platforms right now. 1,700 people, souls watching the show right now. Please do me this small favor. Crush that like button down below. I see a gang of y'all in here watching the show. Please hit that like button. Send it past 500 likes. There's enough of y'all that are enjoying this conversation and this content. Please hit that like button. Send that thing all the way up. Lynn Shepard, thank you so much for the $1.50 super chat. Thank you so much. We are going to be talking here in a little bit. I know I missed a bunch of other super chats as well. Thank you so much for the super chats. But we got to get this ball moving. Like I said, send those likes past 500 likes. That would really mean a lot. Let's hear this last part of this clip.
We all did it together.
Little recap.
Like you said, we've always co-parented Gabby together, and that's not going to stop now.
Gabby Petito's family showed reporters their matching tattoos today. Some used art Gabby made, while others got "Let It Be" as a tribute to her. They announced the creation of the Gabby Petito Foundation at a news conference in New York. They hope some good can come from this tragedy.
There's ups and downs, days that were full of pain and grief, sometimes angry, but you stop, you take a breath, remember Gabby and all the great times we had with her, all the good memories, and all the good things we want to do in her name in the future. And that's what picks you up. That's what carries you through.
Gabby's parents thanked people across the country for their support. Everyone from investigators and volunteer search crews to social media posters and journalists for helping them find their daughter's body in Wyoming.
The police chief in Moab, Utah is taking an unexpected leave of absence. This is the police department that pulled over Gabby and Brian just a couple of weeks before she disappeared.
Wait a second. Sorry. That is news to me, guys. I'm going to roll that back one more time so you guys can hear it all the way in the nosebleed seats, because that is interesting information right there. Man, what?
In Wyoming.
The police chief in Moab, Utah is taking an unexpected leave of absence. This is the police department that pulled over Gabby and Brian just a couple of weeks before she disappeared. An independent group is investigating how officers handled this traffic stop.
Wow.
The city says the officers didn't breach policy, but domestic violence experts say the officers missed signs that Gabby was in a potentially dangerous situation. You can watch the full body camera video right there on the NBC2 News app.
I'm sorry. I want to run that back one more time. I'm sorry. We're gonna play that one more time. Sorry, David. Before we go into it, sorry. That's big news. The reason why I'm making this a big deal is, well, you know what? I'm playing it one more time. Okay, I'm playing it one more time.
In Wyoming.
The police chief in Moab, Utah is taking an unexpected leave of absence. This is the police department that pulled over Gabby and Brian just a couple of weeks before she disappeared.
Also, let's not forget the Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner case that's going on. Those people, I'm sorry to say this, those cops searched for those two women, that married couple, for less than 24 hours. And like I said, if you have not gotten the chance to check out my interview with the woman who actually found Kylan and Crystal, was one of the main people to help find those two missing women, to find their bodies. Cindy Sue Hunter is the interview I just had that I just dropped yesterday. Please go check that out, because it'll explain a lot of why I'm reacting the way I'm reacting right now. And this will explain a lot why the Moab police sheriff just stepped down unexpectedly, because there's a lot of things that happened in the course of August where women have just disappeared, that have died. You have Kylan, you have Crystal, and you also have Gabby. Those cops could have done the right thing. We've talked about it multiple times before. We did talk about how the Moab Police Department was going to be under investigation, and now we have that developing information as well. I'm just learning about that because I only saw the first half of this video this morning. that last half, this little bit, this 30-second, 1-minute clip piece in here is gigantic, especially the fact that that department didn't do a damn thing, not only for the 2 women that died, that were savagely murdered, and their bodies were just discarded off the side of the road like a plastic bottle. But you also have a woman that was dealing with a manipulative man. There was clear domestic violence going on between these 2. And because those cops didn't want, I repeat, did not want to do the paperwork, they sent them on their merry little way. All they did was split them up. For a night. And guess what happened? Gabby Petito is no longer here. So damn right that sheriff is under investigation and of course resigned. David, please. This is, man, that's an admission of guilt. I'm just gonna be really honest. I don't give a damn. That shows admission to guilt. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing
500 likes, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, y'all. Please, please, please. Love to see this thing go past 500 likes. Please send those likes all the way up. David, thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say both of these cases of Gabby and the 2 murdered newlyweds are both starting in Moab. So the Moab police do think that the 2 women were followed from a bar, possibly by their killer. However, the police also say that no one saw anyone follow them, and they don't have any evidence that anyone followed them. So they're already going with an assumption on that case that they can't even prove has any veracity. I mean, it makes sense that someone would follow them from the bar if this was a hate crime because they were there as part of their honeymoon. However, the whole investigation so far seems like the Moab police aren't really trying to find the person. They're going by this assumption. And they're just not looking for the person. They did think for a while that it might have been related to Brian, but for some reason they say now that it no longer is. It could be related to the gunshots because these women were shot, but we don't know with what rounds. We do know that Brian had a 380 AP weapon of some sort. I forget what. But so I'm guessing maybe they're saying they're not connected that way. But at the same time, I want to point out the fact that they're still going under this assumption that it was a person that followed them from the bar without any evidence that someone followed them from the bar. So I'm not necessarily sure if they would find the good information. I don't think they technically have jurisdiction over the LaSalle's, which is a mountain range. I'm not really sure about that campground. It would, I mean, I guess that's part of a park, so it would fall under the rangers, but obviously rangers don't investigate murders. So they probably brought in the police for that, and the police just don't seem that interested in the case, to be honest. And I mean, if you look at the issue with Gabby, is fairly similar, where they just didn't want to do their job. They even admitted that they just didn't want to do some of the extra paperwork that would be necessary. They didn't really want to be bothered with this whole thing, so they just kind of wanted to send them off. But we have this idea that at least I have this idea that the Moab police aren't really being that critical about these cases, and they aren't taking the right steps to come to a objective conclusion. They're just kind of going off of what they already believe, even though they don't have evidence, and they've pointed this out themselves, that their theory has any reason to be believed.
Yeah, like I said, it's continue, David, please continue.
Yeah, so basically, I don't think we can trust the Moab police. They've shown a degree of both laziness and incompetence. And so I'm not surprised that their chief is resigning. And I imagine these officers are not used to handling these sorts of cases. I've mentioned before that it is mostly a recreational area. People go there for mountain biking, for off-roading, and other recreational vehicles. There is, like hotels and stuff there, but for the most part, they probably don't get many murders because not many people live there. So this is probably something that's outside of their department's capability, for one thing. I mean, that would explain the incompetence. At least what I see is incompetence in how they've handled these two cases. So For the two women that were murdered, I don't know if we will ever get anyone better investigating it, but at least with the Gabby case, the FBI had to be pulled in because it crossed state lines multiple times. And that's why the FBI is able to engage in that case. But the FBI won't get involved in this one likely unless it does prove to be a serial killer, because that is one of the things the FBI will handle. But they won't handle a normal killer usually.
And see that that's why it's like, and I get that piece of like there's certain things that they can and cannot do and all that, things that they can get involved with, things that they can't get involved with, etc. But at the same time, I'm going, well, you know, you saw a woman that clearly was not in good shape. Let's just say that when they pulled her over, she literally said out loud, yes, I did grab the steering wheel. Yes, I did hit him in the face. Regardless of anything, regardless of whatever you stand on, right? Some people think, oh, when a guy gets hit, it's no big deal. Other people say, hey, keep your hands to your damn self, right? Regardless of that, there should be zero tolerance on violence, period. So instead of them going to her and saying, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you have a choice. You can get arrested right now, or we can let you go. You just have to answer the question correctly. She obviously answered the question correctly because he was sitting there going, please, God, hopefully she says the right thing so I don't have to do the paperwork. You see that in the body cam footage in itself. You hear the cops. You hear the cops talking. Had nothing to do with keeping her safe. Had all to do with them being lazy as F, y'all. Lazy. Those cops. I'm not saying all cops. I'm just saying those particular cops. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. There are other pieces. There are other places where people want to sit there and go, hey, you know, we all love to get a pass from the cops. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, I got pulled over a couple weeks ago and the cop just gave me a warning, right? And I was so thankful. It's like, yes. But if I got pulled over and I had somebody in the car that was crying frantically and was punching me in the face and all that, somebody getting detained, I don't care. That's what you do. That's what a cop is supposed to do. Protect and serve. These cops were like, serve and sort of protect. Like I said, the math ain't mathin'. Then when you have the sheriff stepping down, because you want to know something? This bad apple-ish is so deeply rooted. And we talked about this on the Benjamin Dixon show earlier today, this morning. There is so many bad, corrupt. There's so much corruption that is so deeply rooted within the system that I'm sure he's been teaching all these guys how to treat these situations. You had Crystal and you had Kylan disappeared. They gave up after not even a day. They gave up not even a day of searching. That seems corrupt. A woman by the name of Cindy Sue Hunter went out of her way, took 5 hours out of her day, combed 60 miles of trail, only to find the campsite and then find Kylan's body only a few yards away from the campsite. Wouldn't that be the first thing a police officer or law enforcement would be going after? Wouldn't that be the first thing? I'm just curious. And yet this wonderful soul felt moved enough to take her afternoon, basically, to find those two women. And those two women could have easily been found. It didn't have to be some innocent woman who's probably never seen something like that, never laid her eyes on a crime scene like that, especially somebody that she knew. She didn't have to be there for that. But she did because she was a good human being. She had to roll up her sleeves and do the dirty work, in which she didn't have to even do that at all. That's why, you know what? I'm happy that this cop or this sheriff has stepped down, because it shows you that there's a lot of work that they need to do in Moab, Utah, especially within that police department. Because here's the thing, and I'll circle right back to what I was saying before. If that situation went down differently, maybe Gabby Petito would still be here with us. Because you see it, those cops are lazy. They weren't willing to look for Kylan or Crystal. And they certainly weren't trying to save this young woman, Gabby Petito, as well. It's just insane to me, guys. Forget jurisdictions and what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do and all that. You don't give up on a married couple that have been gone, that have sent out text messages saying, "Hey, if you don't hear from us, we have been murdered by this creepy dude." And you give up looking for them after what? A few hours? You got a reality show host named Dog. Actually, maybe he goes by Dog the Bounty Hunter. That's his first name. And he's getting leads. And we're seeing it right here. Because here it is. If he didn't put that information out, we wouldn't see this photo right here on the screen right now. We wouldn't. A reality show host is doing more work than the law enforcement at this time right now. Is cracking, is literally cracking the case. It's very interesting, y'all. Very, very interesting. I've roasted him plenty of times. I have. Okay, but I will give credit where credit is due. If he didn't put out that information, we wouldn't see these photos. David, go ahead.
Yeah, someone said this in chat, but from what we can tell, based on the videos and the police reports from the 5 officers involved that came afterward, basically, let me find who said it, but I don't see it. But okay, so the Moab police, or maybe the police that pulled over Gabby and Brian, from what I've seen in the report and in the video, never actually checked their license plate. They might have ran that one automatically, but they never took their driver's licenses either. They never looked into like their past records. They just kind of decided on the spot without running any sort of check. They didn't even ask for registration or what else is it? Like their title. I mean, it's a rental, so they'd have different paperwork, but they didn't even ask for it. So pretty much after they separated this two, they had already given up their opportunity to figure out who these individuals were and kind of get a idea of what could have been the possible problem. Obviously, the rental is going to show up for the rental agency, and all of its history has absolutely nothing to do with these two, Gabby and Brian, for the most part, other than the brief time they rented it. So I don't know. We really do, I think, need the FBI to get involved in both of these cases. They are involved in the Brian case already, and they are doing their investigations. They just haven't released a whole lot of information. I do think they need to get involved in the double murder as well, because it is potentially a hate crime. Well, it's most likely a hate crime, and it is potentially a serial killing of some sort, both of which the FBI can investigate. Because, like I said, they don't normally investigate your like average murder in your town. They only investigate it if it involves something strange, if serial killers, drugs, cross borders, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they do, I think, need to take a look at the case of the 2 women who were murdered, because I do not think Moab has either the facilities or the training to handle that sort of case. They just don't handle murders. I mean, I'm sure they got training in it, but it's not like Cincinnati or St. Louis, where they might be responding to a murder every few hours or every day or something like that. These people didn't have murders for several years, I think over a decade. Because like I said, it's more of a tourist location. Most of the deaths are accidental from people rolling their vehicle or something. So I do think the FBI needs to be involved in this one, especially somebody that has experience investigating hate crimes and murders, so that they might be able to pick up on information that these police who, even if they had training, lack experience in these sorts of investigations. I'm not even sure. It seems like they were just sending deputies. It doesn't even seem like they have an actual detective on the case. But I guess we'll see. So I'm just hoping the FBI gets involved. For the most part, the deputies in the area just aren't doing their job. And like I said, the LaSalles where they actually were killed are technically not governed by the police. So the police will come in to handle crimes. It is generally a park service area. So, the recreation and parks will have their rangers out there. But they really don't get involved in normal law enforcement unless you're like poaching or damaging things. That's the things they investigate. So I think the FBI needs to get involved because they do need somebody with experience to look into these two murders. I don't know that it's related to Brian, but they are more likely to find any relation. And if it's not related to Brian, then there's a person out there killing people because of their seemingly because of their sexual preferences. And so they have to be found as quickly as possible, because it's likely they will do that again if that was the only reason they murdered these two women, was because they were lesbians that got married.
And that's, you know what, and that's also true too. That whole idea of it could very well be a hate crime for sure. We don't know. They're in Moab. I mean, anything is possible. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit there and automatically say, oh, it's definitely that. But at the same time, like the possibilities are endless. Just a real quick recap. I wanted to show you guys a video from a reporter where Dog the bounty hunter is talking to this reporter, talking about this whole situation as well. But before we jump into that, I also want to point something out. Why hasn't there been charges against the parents? Period. What's going on? Why hasn't there been anything? Now, I understand that this is all like there are hearsay, speculation, so on and so forth. We're seeing the families showing photos of campers, the photo of the possible sighting of Brian in the background of that photo. Why aren't they trying to do everything they can in their power to find something on the parents so that they can bring him in? The only thing they got on Brian so far is the fraudulent credit card usage. That's it. That's all they got to bring him in. Of course, when they bring him in, of course, they're going to get him for other things, right? But what about the parents? Isn't this aiding and abetting? Isn't this something? Even if it's lesser than aiding and abetting, why aren't they going to the parents and locking them up? Why aren't they just bringing them in for questioning and keep just berating them with endless amounts of questions so that they can actually speak up? They don't even have to arrest them. Just bring them in for questioning, baby. That's it. That's all you need to do. But that's not happening. The parents are still in their crib enjoying what it feels like to be free. It doesn't make sense to me, man. Now, I showed this on last night's show, but I know that there's a lot of people in right now, almost 3,000 individuals in the show right now. Please, do me that favor. Hit that subscribe button if you have the time. If you're enjoying what I'm covering, what we are covering today, we cover a lot of different things on this show. So please do us that small favor. Hit that subscribe button. And of course, hit that like button down below. I'd love to see it go past 800 likes. That would be amazing. I see a bunch of y'all in here, but I wanted to show this recap. This is a video. Actually, let me pull up this other one too. Let me get this one too here real quick, because I showed it on yesterday's show, but I feel like everybody should see it with their own two eyes again, since we have so many souls in the house right now. We have another video I'm going to show you two different ones, okay? This one is from Dog the Bounty Hunter, okay? Actually, hold on one second. Let me just see this here real quick. Oh, I meant, thank you. I meant Fort DeSoto. Sorry about that. Not Fort Myer. Fort DeSoto. Sorry about that, guys. I'll fix the title here in a second. But thank you, David, for that correction. Thank you. But let's see. I'll fix that title here in a second. But I have two different videos. One of them is obviously Dog the Bounty Hunter talking about how he picked up a scent. Let's take a look at this. This is the worst cut. This is the worst video ever. But take a listen to it. Let's go.
We're down here in Florida in Fort DeSoto. It's almost dark. So we had a very good lead come up today that he was down here in this park, not very far away. We checked our lead out. It is confirmed. The parents were down here 2 times. It was September 1st through the 3rd and September 6th through the 8th. They registered to stay at this park. They were registered, went through the gate. They're on camera. They were here and they did enter. They did come here. Allegedly, what we're hearing is 2 people left on the 8th. 3 people came in on the 6th and 2 people left on the 8th. I think he's been here for sure. So there's a lot of little islands around the area where we're at that he could get to on a canoe. We talked to the caretakers today of the islands. They said he could be out here, that he was here for sure, not over in the swamp.
So there it is, guys. He says it right there. And then obviously we just saw at a few hours later, the people who were next door, neighbors to the campsite, bang, they said, hey, we were actually right next to them. This is insane, right? So we saw all that. Now there's another clip where a reporter, I think this is a Fox News reporter, is asking Dog the Bounty Hunter. I keep saying Dog the Bounty Hunter about his findings. So let's hear this real quick too. Just a quick recap, y'all.
Hold on one second, Dog. Luis.
Sure.
Luis. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. So I'm just going to record this. So what did you guys discover? What's the deal with the campground?
So we discovered that on the early September, the mother and father had registered to stay at a campground, and we got the name from the 1st to the 3rd. And they stayed in campground number 1. Then on the 6th through the 8th of September, they registered again to stay at the campground, and this time they stayed in space 15. When they came in, at least on the 6th, there were three people in the vehicle, which was the truck, at the dad's house. And you have to fill out a piece of paper, and whoever filled it out said Brian, his mom, and his dad, right? So when they saw the truck leave on the 8th, there was only 2 people in it, not 3. This place is, how many acres, honey, is it? Hundreds of acre place that has got small islands all the way around it. So in a canoe or a, what's it called that he could have stolen?
Kayak.
Any kind of little boat.
That's what I thought too, a kayak.
The little boat?
The canoe.
No, something else. This is for the ocean.
You think he could be out on one of those islands?
Yes.
And authorities, though. You called police.
Yes, I called some of my friends, that
Okay.
we met by the dad. But yes, this is for sure good, absolutely positive. They checked in there, they left, and he didn't leave with them. There's a huge possibility that yes, he could be there. And there's also a possibility that he was there and left. But for one thing, for absolutely sure, he was there in September.
So there you have it, guys. I've played this video before. on last night's show, but I wanted to play it again just to confirm that, because I see a bunch of people in here right now watching the show. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Let's get it to 800. That would be amazing. And of course, hit that subscribe button down below as well. Without that information, without that lead, without him cracking that piece of information, we wouldn't have found those photos. And that family stepping up and saying, yes, we were next door. David, go ahead.
Yeah, so some people in chat are asking how we know some of these things. Basically, we did a video before. There was a 1 hour clip of the pullover from the dash cams that you can go over. And I am also now posting in chat the actual police report, which tells you exactly what they did, why they did it, and why they thought it was a good idea at the time. So all that information is out there. It's publicly available. They already made sure to get all that recorded. You can find out exactly what happened there by reading both the report and watching the full video that we did in the past. Just look for, I think it was Gabby and Brian pulled over. I'll find the video and post it here in a second.
Yes. But I think it's body cam footage. I think that's what the title of the episode is. And of course, I'm actually going to be putting together like a playlist, Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie playlist here as well, so that if you want to catch up and see what's going on with everything, so that you can just see it all in succession, on this platform, then you can watch it there as well. Because like I said, there's a lot of developing information. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of misleading information out there as well. I mean, it is very overwhelming. I'll be honest. It's overwhelming. 1 minute you're hearing one thing, the next minute you're hearing something else. And we've already said this before. He's in multiple corners of the world, not even just the country, but of the world, because everybody sees a skinny, bald white guy and they automatically assume that it's Brian Laundrie. And the other thing I wanted to express is that there is a good possibility. And just entertain me, you know what I mean? Entertain me for a second, bless me with this time if you don't mind. What if, I know this is going to sound crazy, but just roll with me on this. They went there 2 different times, 3 days each time. And I know this sounds nuts, or I know what I'm about to say is going to sound nuts, but what if the reason why they went back, or the reason why they went those 2 different times, is so that you can set up shop at one of those islands? Think about it. I don't know how long it takes to row out there, right? To quietly row out there. But think about it. What if they went out there, he had a bunch of supplies, and he was starting to set up shop, right, out on one of those islands? I know that sounds insane, but I'm just saying, bless me with that thought for a second. What if they went over to every single time they went to Costco or Sam's, right? Got a few things. He stuffs it into a little boat, a little dinghy, and just rows over there, setting up. He comes back. You see what I'm saying? That's a possibility. I know that sounds insane, but what if?
It's also
like he just hopped in the boat and just rode out there with nothing, no supplies, nothing. I just think it's interesting. Okay, let me grab this really quick, David. I'm going to throw it back to you on that thought. Lady Justice, thank you so much. One of our co-hosts, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. She says, "Wait, but report says they went looking for a suspect, but told Brian he was pulled over for speeding in the video."
That's true.
That doesn't align at all.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't make sense, but that is what they said.
Yeah. So that's interesting, right?
And
very strange. One more super chat real quick. Sorry, I have been ignoring all these super chats, so let me throw this one up really quick. Thank you, Laura Estrada, for the $5 super chat. Out of desperation, Pascal, anything is possible. I agree. Anything's possible, right? He's going to his parents and saying, "Hey, well, I mean, I can always go off over here. Let me get as much food and supplies as I can get on this boat and row it over there. And then it's kind of like, yeah, I need more stuff. I just need a few more things. Can we just go back down home? I can go to Walmart really quick or Home Depot or whatever, get a few more supplies. Then they drive back up there and then they say their goodbyes. He jumps into the boat with the rest of those supplies and he rows off to one of those islands. I'm just saying, I know that sounds like a random, wild idea, but why would they go there twice? You see what I'm saying? And I could see them go, well, and I also can see them using this opportunity to go twice. One, to just scope out the location, scout the location. Yeah, I could live there for a little bit. Just saying. But David, please, you have the floor.
I was going to say that, okay, I know who Dog is. I haven't actually ever seen any of his bounty hunting or whatever. I don't know how good he is or anything, or how bad or whatever, or how he does his own job. But I think the FBI will be having a problem with this because so sources with information are trying to call or calling directly to Dog instead of them, or in this case. And the main thing is Dog is also working with the police more than the FBI. And the police themselves are more likely to cause problems with the FBI. The FBI won't be willing to work with the police that thoroughly, especially if they see them as a problem. Because basically, if that information gets out and patrol officers or Dog shows up at some location and spooks Brian, then the FBI lost their only lead on the guy. And that's why they do want to keep these people away. That's why they usually try to force out the news. And that's probably why they're trying to silence Dog, because it seems as if they are. But this is a possibility that pretty much between him, because he's giving most of his information out on the news and social media as well, that he's basically warning Brian to run because he's there right next to him now. And Brian knows the FBI will soon be there as well if Dog is correct. So most likely the FBI will continue to hold on to their information because they do not want patrol officers and they do not want bounty hunters interfering with their cases.
Yeah, I like I said, this is just, I think he's trying to smoke him out. I think that's also the other thing too. Like, if Brian Laundrie has any access to any internet, right, and he's watching this stuff, maybe he's trying to smoke him out to get him to freak out so he starts to move. And he starts doing and making very erratic, poorly calculated choices. He starts getting sloppy, y'all. And then he goes, got him. All he has to do is scoop him up real quick. Think about it. He might be trying to smoke him out. I got this lead. I'm going to put it out there because this is going to make this guy squirm. We all know he has a burner phone, at least. A little bit. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We all know that he got a little something. He's somehow getting in contact with somebody. Just saying. He's trying to smoke him out. That's what I think. Because as soon as he's like, cool, calm, collected, and he's like, damn, they hot on my trail like that? Bruh. Whoa. Okay. I got to do this, and this. See what I'm saying? Frantic, freaking out. Oh, they're coming here? Like I said, he ain't in no damn swamp, yo. He ain't in no damn swamp. He ain't in the swamp. They would have been found him. Hiding out in a tree, running, anything. They would have found him in the swamp. This lead could very well be the thing that brings this man to justice. If he ain't already gone, if you know what I mean. Because you never know. They might go out to those islands and they might find something. They might find something sad. He may have, but I don't think he's the type to do anything heinous like taking his own. You feel me? Yeah. But here it is. CJ Lee just said something I want to pull up really quick. Where did that go? in the chat. Where did it go? Dagnab. There it is. CJ Lee said, FBI is not showing their cards. You think they want some Fisher Price detective blowing up the spot, Pascal? Here it is. You got a point. You know what I mean? Like we're sitting here going, why isn't law enforcement doing anything? Why are they dragging their feet? Why? What's going on here? Why are they being so damn slow on the up and up with this situation? Right? And you could very well could be right, CJ Lee. They could literally be like, yo, man, we ain't telling you nothing. We're trying to catch this dude. You telling me we're going to put out like Dog the Bounty Hunter? Real talk. You think we're going to go and just put it all out there like that? We out here. Trust, we're doing our work, but we ain't going to go out here and say something. Like they need like a Barack Obama translator. You see what I'm saying? The FBI does. You know? You think we're good? You know what I mean? Remember that skit? Anybody remember that skit? Where Barack Obama saying something, he got his translator, right? And he's like, man, what the hell are you talking about? We did that stuff, man. Sit down. That's what they need. FBI needs something like that. Real talk. Luther. They need straight up. They need somebody to be like the FBI's translator. Y'all need to shut the hell up. We doing our damn job. We ain't going to tell you what we found. Shut up. That's what we need. And then we could all go, okay, we get it. Lo siento. Go with namaste. Go with God. Sorry, FBI. But they're not telling us anything. But they could have everything. We don't know. But they are still looking at the swamp. They're now throwing helicopters and whatnot to fly over these islands right now. But they weren't doing that before. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, so somebody was asking why was the FBI wasting so much time at the swamp? Basically, their bloodhounds found nothing. They wanted to end the search, but they were told by somebody in the police chain of command that they had to resume that investigation, basically. So once that happened, 1 second. Let me make sure I got this information right.
Good, homie.
Yeah, so they found nothing at the location because of the hound. So they ended up taking several boats out onto the swamp itself to trawl the bottom and to look for it because basically you can't track a scent into the water like that. So they spent most of their time trawling the bottom of the swamp because they thought he might have committed suicide at that point and were looking for his body. I don't know if that was a good idea because the bloodhounds didn't find any evidence whatsoever that he was in the location. But that is what they decided to do. And of course, that the FBI doing that does not limit them from furthering the investigation elsewhere. They're not the ones actually managing the local boats that are trawling everyone. They're hiring them and are trawling the bottom. They're hiring them and sending them out. And there's only a few agents there to help them. So the entire investigation isn't locked up because they had boats out there in the swamp. There's still other agents involved. There should just be one lead special agent involved, and then multiple lower agents that he or she will probably send out to handle smaller situations like this.
Yeah, you're right. You know, you could very well be. What the heck? Someone's losing his damn mind. Sorry, guys. 1 second. This dang thing just lost its dang mind. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. Thing has just lost its damn mind. Can you repeat that last piece that you just said? I'm sorry, this lost my train of thought.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that.
Sorry about that.
So the setup and the search, the lead agent is probably a special agent who's in charge of it, and they will have other agents. Because special agent is a specific task, and they will have other agents out there to work with them. And sometimes they will contract civilians from the location to overwatch things if they have experience in that. So FBI will use a lot of local resources for their investigation. And for something like this, I would imagine the special agent was looking at other things because they already knew if he was in the park, he wasn't alive because of the bloodhounds. So it wasn't a critical thing. If he was in the swamp, he was dead. And So he didn't necessarily need to be there until they found a body. So likely they were investigating other areas as well. But of course, the FBI is pretty close-lipped, and they have made massive mistakes over the past year and a lot of things. So their trustworthy is also questionable for sure. Especially, I mean, if you consider not even just the criminal investigations, but they've had a lot of issues with supporting people that are causing the crimes over the past year. You saw this on the 6th, in fact. So this could be another case of that, where they're just kind of working against themselves and aren't even necessarily aware of the fact because of just kind of inner competition.
Yeah, and like I said, we don't know. And of course, if they're giving out this information to other people, and there's a lot of people that are. There's a lot of people that are involved, a lot of different departments, a lot of different things that are getting involved with all this stuff that we don't see, that we don't know about, like us regular civilians. Like I said, I'm not a cop. I don't have any law background in law enforcement or anything of that sort. So I wouldn't even know the first thing is to, when it comes to a missing persons case, or when somebody's out on a lam on the run, how they conduct themselves. But yes, at least from the public naked eye, it seems very strange that they have been slow, dragging their feet when it comes to this situation. And like I said, we're only going to find out more information as we get closer and closer to him, if we ever do get closer and closer to him. But I think that they should be looking at these islands. They should be looking in that direction. That's what should be happening, not the other way around. I think that there's way too many things that are showing us otherwise, especially, eyewitnesses. This is I feel very credible, instead of it just being like, oh my gosh, I'm in Toronto and I'm a flight attendant and I saw this guy who looks a lot like Brian Laundrie in a hotel. He was picked up by some man. He was disheveled and he seemed angry. That doesn't mean nothing to me. I think he's still in Florida. He's out there in those islands, most likely, if he is even still alive. That's what I think. Somebody did say something too. I need to find the comment, because I just lost it. It said something along the lines of, what we should be doing is focusing on Roberta Laundrie. I'm trying to find the comment again, because that was a very good comment, or a very good point. Dag nabbit. I lost it. But it is a very good point. Like, instead of us going and only looking at, oh, Brian, where is he at? It's like, no. We should be, like I've said before, we should be looking to the parents. And I feel like the parents, it shouldn't only just be Roberta or Roberta, according to David. It should be both parents, because they're both involved. They both drove him out there. They both came back without him, all that stuff. It is on them at the end of the day. Farley Burge, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, I'm sorry, but this reminds me of the Delphi case. It's just going to go on and on and on and on. No one's going to talk. Small town mentality. You know what, Farley? You are not wrong with that theory. Even myself, I was like, man, I figured by Monday, we would have already had information. We would have already had our stories. We would have already known what's going on here. You see what I'm saying? But no, lo and behold, we are still up in this piece dealing with this story, dealing with, like we were just saying a second ago, misleading information, where we're sitting there going, oh, it's this one thing. It's this thing. It's just going on and on and on. I'm hoping that by the end of this week, we have results. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that these people come in, they find them in this island, and it's a wrap. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm hoping for, because This is ridiculous. But like I said, first off, thank you for so much, Farley, for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Any little bit helps this channel, so thank you so much. But like I said, we should be looking to the parents. They should be putting all types of pressure on the parents. Those people that are on their bullhorns outside the house, I commend them. I know it's harassment. I know it's not the greatest thing at all. But like I'm saying, somebody has to come out and say something. They can't be tight-lipped like this forever. They better not. And I know there's all these crazy theories. You know, David, did you hear about this theory? There's a theory that Roberta and I forgot the husband's name, real talk, because everybody's been talking about Roberta, but that they killed him, that they killed Brian. He ain't dead. Or he wasn't,
I don't see that happening.
He wasn't murdered by their hand. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But go ahead, David. Sorry.
I just agree. I don't see that happening at all. They do seem very much wanting to protect him. And as far as I can tell, I mean, they could have claimed he said he went out there to commit suicide and then threw him in the swamp. If that's what they wanted to do, but they're not finding his body anywhere. So where did they put it? They could have buried it, I guess. But just based on everything they've been saying and the way they've been acting, they seem to be willing to risk everything to protect him, not to get rid of him.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can. Like I said, they're doing everything they can. Speaking of doing everything they can, please do everything you can to see if we can get this past 1,000 likes. That would be amazing. Please hit that like button down below. I see a bunch of y'all in here, a part of the conversation, watching the show. Some of you guys are watching the show for the very first time. So please go hit that subscribe button. We were going to talk about a bunch of other things today, but obviously this became a very big conversation. And so I will be on later on this evening, and we will be talking about these other topics. And if there is any other popping, news popping off about Brian Laundrie, of course, we will talk about it tonight as well. But yes, most definitely crush that subscribe button. That would mean the world to both me and David. But like I said, we talk about a lot of other things on this show other than just Brian Laundrie. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Okay. So if you're interested in seeing that variety of content, please crush that subscribe button. David, you were going to say something before.
Yes, there's a few questions that I kind of wanted to answer. All right. So they're not actually looking for him for murder right now. That's why they're not, bringing that up. They're actually looking for him for credit card fraud, and that's it. They are not looking for him for murder. They're not charging him for that yet. They may, and I think most of us think they will, but they are not doing that so far. They are charging him specifically with fraudulent use of 3 different credit cards with different numbers and everything. They didn't release the name of who, but 3 separate credit cards that were not his, that were fraudulently used to make over $1,000 in purchases over 3 days. That's why they're looking for him. This actually technically has nothing to do with Gabby, though obviously the reason they're investigating so many of the resources is to find Gabby. They're just kind of using this as a clear-cut crime that they can charge him with, like clear-cut. They have evidence, so this isn't ambiguous. They don't need to prove it. They probably already have the proof. And so we don't know who those credit cards were, though, but we do know that the FBI isn't charging him for murder so far. No. As far as the 2 newlyweds who were murdered, so they were shot for sure. That's 100% known. However, the Moab police have not released in the autopsy have not released what kind of rounds they were shot with. Brian Laundrie did, in fact, own a Taurus 380, which fires 380 ACP. He had a concealed carry permit. And there are actual photos of Gabby holding it at his place. So there is that. But we don't know. Unfortunately, we don't know what the weapon on the gun used on the women were. So we do know they had the appearance of being raped. Their clothes were pulled down. Like I said, the autopsy hasn't technically released this information, but that's what it suggests.
Real quick, shameless plug. But Cindy Sue Hunter, I just had an interview with her, dropped yesterday. Please go check out that interview. She talks about her first account, seeing the bodies for being the first one at the scene, what Kylan looked like when she was found. Same thing with Crystal. She goes into great detail and gives her first account on finding Kylan Schulte. So please take a look at that interview when you get a chance after this show. The thing is was it like I said, there's information that there's still questions that are still lingering. And I think that if you watch her interview, it'll answer a lot of different things on that as well. So go check that one out once this show is over, please. I would really appreciate it. And of course, share that one too, because I think there's a lot of people that are still trying to find out what actually happened to Kylan and Crystal. And I think we covered a lot in that interview. But continue, David. I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw in that shameless plug,
Yeah. I mean, that is most of it. So,
well, let me ask you this then, because he had a certain caliber of gun, right? Mm-hmm. He had a certain caliber of gun. Now we still don't know as well her autopsy, Gabby's autopsy. We don't know how she died. We don't know cause of death yet. We don't know if she died from a gunshot wound. We don't know, God forbid, but we don't know if she was bashed in the face with a rock. You see what I'm saying? We don't know any of that stuff. All we do know, at least, is that they identified her by her tattoos. The same tattoos that both parents, right, and their respective spouses have tattooed on their forearms as well. That's the only way they were able to determine that was her until they did the DNA. Did a DNA sample and all that. So that's something about what happened to her face, right? So we don't know if she was shot or if it was, a blunt force trauma. Go ahead, David.
I was going to say, you're right. They gave out some of the preliminaries on the autopsy, basically just saying that it was a case of homicide. That's the only thing they've announced. They haven't announced how she was killed, just that they're investigating it as a case of homicide, and that there's significant evidence that there was a homicide. That would suggest a weapon wound or some wound of that kind, but they haven't released that information. So they are saying that Gabby was murdered. They're just not saying that Brian did it yet. They're still probably looking for the evidence. They might already have some of it, but just aren't releasing it yet. However, they're still not charging him with the homicide. I'll post an article in here so people can see it, but basically he is being charged for credit card fraud. Some people don't believe that for some reason, but that is what the police and the FBI have said. So that's what they're charging him with.
It's just so weird, yo. It's just so bloody weird to me that no charges as far as her death has been filed. No charges towards his parents for letting him go out on a limb. It just doesn't, like I said, the math ain't mathin'. And the reason why they are dragging their feet is something else too. And I don't think it has anything to do with the connection between Moab Police Department and the law enforcement in Florida. I don't think it has anything to do with that. It might be just a whole bunch of red tape, because everything, as David has so eloquently has stated, it could all just be because of things that are, cross state lines, so that it makes things a little bit more difficult and all that. But at the same time, it just seems so strange that they're not working frivolously to make sure that the parents at least are getting the brunt. Like, think about this for a second. Because we got Dog the Bounty Hunter basically saying, "We got you, bruh. We got you." Right? Oh, he's over here, guys. I could smell his scent. Ooh, I'm excited, right? Trying to throw him off. You want to know another way of throwing him off or smoking him out? You put you throw cases on the parents. You don't think he doesn't love his parents? The ones that helped him get away? Imagine if they got hit with all kinds of cases. They caught so many cases. You don't think that would smoke him out quick? Wait, mom and dad are what? What? For a fact, he's going to do everything in his power to run to them. Or he's going to be like, I'm out. Don't do it to my parents. I love them. Trust me. You can smoke them out by just throwing everything on them. Throw everything and the kitchen sink at them. Bury them under that jail. He going to come out with the quickness. That is if he's still alive. Think about it, y'all. Think about it.
And one last thing I want to answer. I'm not going to get into the details of this one, but some people were wondering how he could have a phone that they don't know about. So burner phones, you don't always necessarily buy those right at the store. A lot of times they're used phones, and you root hack them to change the data in the phone. So unless the FBI figures out a SIM card to associate you with that root hacked phone, like they will detect it. They just won't know who it belongs to. They have no reason to think it belongs to him, unless that SIM card is somehow associated with him. But if it's a used phone that's root hacked, yeah, that kind of hides that. I mean, there might be like top secret ways they can do it or whatever, but generally speaking, I like the police and that can't do that.
Like I said, the possibilities are endless. But I really do think that if there's ways to destroy a man, right? You destroy his wallet. And another part that you can destroy is the people that they love. You attack the people that they love. One way to get him the hell out is possibly doing exactly that. Going after the parents. Debbie Detmer, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. All right. But unfortunately, guys, that is the show today. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who came on today, part of the conversation, chopping it up with us and everything. It's been an amazing turnout. Okay, David, thank you so much for enduring another conversation about Brian Laundrie. I do appreciate you being a good sport, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a good show. I'll be happy when the story's over, though.
Yeah, man, I feel you, baby. I'm with you on that all the live long day. I ain't gonna front. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to him getting caught. I just want him to just bring him in, man. Just scoop him up and bring him in, or throw some cases on the parents. Period, boo. Period. Just do it. Just be done with it, man. Okay. I want to say a big thank you to all the super chats. Thank you so much. Please, by all means, go and join our membership, the Pascal Show family membership. If you're enjoying this and you want to help support the channel beyond just super chats, please go hit that join button down below. That would be really, really appreciated. Of course, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/the Pascal Show, the thing that's scrolling down below. So please do me that favor. Go and hit that, log in and do all that stuff. I also do have some merch. Please go to my Etsy page. We got a nice store that is constantly being refreshed, built, and there's some really great stuff out there as well. So please go over there. Like I said, if you're just looking to support, please support. We would be greatly appreciated. All right. Or we would greatly appreciate that. Okay. So anyway, guys, of course, as this show or as this story continues to evolve, we are going to be covering this story as much as we possibly can. Like I said, this is a wild story. I thought this story would have been coming to a close by now, but it's still developing. And I'm thinking that maybe by Friday, we'll have some new stuff. Maybe he'll finally get thrown in jail. Maybe he'll actually be detained. That's my fingers crossed. I'm praying on it too. You know what I'm saying? Because there needs to be justice for this young woman. There also needs to be justice for Kylan and Crystal as well. And maybe he knows something too. Maybe he is connected in some sort of way. We don't know yet, but I have my fingers crossed because we need to get those stories out there. So do me a favor before y'all leave, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And of course, guys, I have that interview with Cindy Sue Hunter. If you haven't gotten the chance to check it out, by all means, please go and check it out. I think it's very informative, and I think it helps shed a little bit of light. Maybe somebody who watches that interview was there in that area of Moab, Utah, that might have a photo, kind of like what this whole Brian Laundrie thing is going on. Maybe somebody has something in their Snapchat, their IG story, or a selfie that they took. It's just that simple. That could help lead, or bring the man or the person that did this heinous, unthinkable crime to those two young women to justice. But anyway, that's the show. Appreciate all you guys for being on. Stay blessed out there. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Stay safe out there. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.